Hi, I'm Autumn, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of my most anticipated reads of this year, These War-Torn Hands by Emily Hayse. These War-Torn Hands is the first book in a trilogy, The Knights of Tin and Lead. Before we get into the review, let's talk about the book. These War-Torn Hands is a retelling of the legend of King Arthur as a Western with fantasy elements. So immediately when I heard this premise, I thought this is the combination of genres that I didn't know I needed. I really love Arthurian retellings and I really like classic Western stories, so I was immediately excited to read this book. So what is the book actually about?
Rosamund Lacey has crossed a continent to marry Archer Scott because she believes he is a man set apart, a man with a destiny. But Alexander Mortimer, outlaw king of the Western Territory, believes in only one kind of destiny: winner takes all. Determined to reign supreme, Mortimer kidnaps the governor's bride and wreaks havoc on the land around Glory Mesa. But when Archer refuses to choose between the woman he loves and the land he has sworn to protect, he is forced into a showdown that may cost more than his life.
So These War-Torn Hands follows Rosamund Lacey, who is our sort of Guinevere character, as she comes out to the Western Territory to marry Archer Scott, who is the Arthur type figure. And the story starts by following a common sort of trope or common retold story in the Arthurian legend, that is the kidnapping of Guinevere. It is most famously retold in Chrétien de Troyes' story of Lancelot. And this story does a really good job of taking a story that's been retold so many times and adding its own original elements to it. So the story doesn't feel predictable or stale or cliche. It feels very original. The setting is very immersive. It takes sort of the classic old American West setting and very seamlessly integrates the fantasy elements, the fantasy creatures, the hint of magic, and makes them come together in a way that feels natural. So there's never so much magic that it feels unrealistic, but it's still there as a nod to the Arthurian aspect of it. The characters are very well developed. They're very interesting, very sympathetic. Even the villain is a very well-rounded, very interesting, very deep, even to a certain point sympathetic character. One problem I did have with the book was there are quite a few point of view characters. So there's actually 6 point of views in total. For most of the book, you're only following about 4 of those characters. But you meet 4 of those characters in the first 5 chapters. And the chapters are relatively short, so at the very beginning it's a little bit hard to get connected to and get to know the characters and become invested in the story because you're switching point of views so often. But this is a problem that sort of fixes itself as the story progresses, as you get to come back around to those characters and continue to get to know them and get invested in their story. Something that I thought was interesting and really liked that the author did was that the character of Archer is not a point of view character. So even though he is one of the main protagonists of the story next to Rosamund, he is only ever seen from the point of view of other characters. The author does a really good job of showing you different sides of Archer by showing you his character from the point of view of a different character. So overall, I thought this was a very fresh and original retelling of King Arthur. It did a really good job of holding to the classic Western tropes without being cliche, and the plot was both a great nod to the Western tropes, to Arthurian legend, while still being original and unpredictable. It definitely kept you invested in the story and the characters. Overall, I really liked it, and I'm planning on continuing with the trilogy, and I will hopefully be doing reviews for the next 2 books in the series as well. So that's my review of These War-Torn Hands by Emily Hayse. Let me know in the comments below if you've read it and what your thoughts are on it. Also, let me know what your favorite combination of genres is, or one that you would really like to see. Or if you have a favorite retelling of King Arthur, let me know, and I will see you again soon.